Hey, Magic friends, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclyde's MTG. And guess what? We hit it early, boys and girls. So, we're on Decathlon event number 9 for traditional standard. And after only 3 tries, I have a winner. And that's right, I won. How did I win? Well, back in black again, boys and girls, because traditional standard is dominated by all the taking turns, dragon decks, and things like that. And the only way to deal with them is massive disruption to their hand while doing damage in the process. So let's all enjoy as we claim this prize. Look at that, Decathlon to reach the finals. So let's go here and take a look at our tokens. We've got one from 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. All we need now is 10 from the Turbo Draft, boys and girls, and we get 2 entries. And boy, am I stoked about it. So, with that said, let's take a look at the winning deck that I won the Decathlon with. So, we'll go to my decks. It's this one right here. So, as you can see, I did make a couple changes to the deck, but not very many. We're starting off, we got 4 Blood Chief's Thirst, Acquisitions Experts, only 2 Deadly Dispute this time, and 4 Elder Fang Disciples. These 2 here, against all the Dragon decks and other decks in the format, the fact that it's a creature that causes early disruption that you can Deadly Dispute away to draw more cards, this combo right here of 10 cards is devastating to most decks that are currently in the traditional standard format because they rely so much on their hand with taking turns and dragons and so forth. Also, you got to have the Graveyard Trespasser because Graveyard Shenanigans are so huge in the format right now for Standard. Plus, this is honestly a 3 mana discard 2 cards because you get the removal spell, plus they have to discard a card just to target it. And if you can get real sneaky, if they try to wait till you swing with it, and you're untapped and you have a Deadly Dispute, they can waste 2 cards on it while you Deadly Dispute it to draw 2. And boy, there's nothing not a better feeling than that. Oh, also too, use these Deadly Disputes when they start trying to do things like bouncing back to your hand. Uh, yeah, once you sacrifice it out of the way, they can't learn, they don't get the cards, it's a good time. So we start with 2 Hero Downfalls because it's obviously one of the best removal spells in the format. It kills everything. 2 Celestis. I'm now starting 2 Baleful Masteries. Only because normally these would be 2 downfalls, and I understand why you guys would think I'm crazy for doing this. But there is a black-white Edgar Markov deck that is almost all removal with all exile effects. And without these starting, Edgar will just kill you. Now, I've beat the deck with this without exile and Edgar before because of other things in the deck and how you play, but it's very hard to do if you don't know this deck very well. It can actually be it can almost be impossible to win if you can't figure it out. I don't want to go into detail about it because every situation is a little different. But just having 2 of these in the main is just amazing. Also, if you happen to run into the green deck that makes that 4/4 troll on 3, I'll give them a card to exile that troll so they don't get it back. And then later in the game, you just exile the troll and for 4 and say thank you for playing. So we have 3 Maulings. I'm thinking about taking this up to 4. This always seems to be a mana issue in this deck, even though there's 23 land. But so I might take this up to 4. I don't know what I'm gonna take out for it though. If I take out a lot, maybe a Blood Chief's Thirst. But anyway, so 3 Maulings, 2 Sorin still 4 Loss, 4 Blood in the Snow, and 2 Meathook Massacres. Maybe I'll take a Massacre out for another land. Anyway, yep, and then 18 Snowland, 2 Field of Ruin because there's all kinds of man lands out there. Whatever deck you're playing, you need 2 of these in it, regardless of what it is. So, then for the sideboard, we got 2 Raven Fieldmen, so those easily come in against those white white weenie decks that can be very troublesome in the quick game. 2 Warlock class. These I might bring out, but I just keep leaving them in because if you play against another Meathook Massacre deck, with 2 Meathooks out, they pretty much null each other. If you get a Warlock class out, now you're actually doing damage again. Plus, if you get in that long game because Meathook Massacre decks normally aren't quick, you get this thing on 7 and you pull it off on 7 and you hit somebody for 2 or 3 damage. Whoa, boy. It starts adding up quick. I've killed several people with this, especially control decks. 3 go blanks for all the taking turns decks, the graveyard manipulation decks, you name it. This thing's just amazing. I probably ought to put a 4th one in, to be honest with you. 1 Concealing Curtain. I'm honestly thinking about putting in an extra one of these and taking out that Massacre. But 1 is probably fine because on turn 1, I laid this against my taking turns opponent last game for the final win. and he never dealt with it until he 5 mana board wipe with that red 5 mana spell. But in the meantime, on turn 3, I got to make him discard, punch him in the face for 3. It was just amazing. Then I hit him for 3 again, laid a creature, made him discard again, punched him in the face again, laid another creature, made him discard, and then he board wiped. So I basically got 3 cards out of his hand, 4 if you count the board wipe, for 3 of my cards, not to mention buttloads of damage. This card, I think, this card seems really good. Plus, I think it's really good against some of the mono quick decks because 0-4 blocks really well. And you really need to keep your life total up so you can actually get to the bigger spells in your deck for the win. 2 Feed the Swarms. I'm honestly thinking about taking this out. I put it in for some enchantment spells. It doubles as a removal spell and that's fine. But sometimes the deal and the damage is not good. And honestly, a lot of things I'm apparently having trouble with is artifacts. So this might not be a good thing. Maybe Concealing Curtains is better. I haven't really decided yet. 4 Flunks, because people like to play things that are indestructible, and you just give everything -1/-1 counters. You just don't give a damn. Obviously, the 4th Meat Hook's in the sideboard for weenie decks, so I can really get them board wipes going, because getting that life total back when you board wipe is just phenomenal. And honestly, this is basically the new Wrath of God. I mean, 4 mana will kill any weenie deck, give you all the life back that they've been zapping you with. This card's just nuts. So, yep. So that's the deck I learned how I use to win the traditional standard decathlon, boys and girls. So with that said, next we're on to this here, which is the Turbo Draft. If you guys don't know what Turbo Draft is, you go through and you draft up, and apparently you get this token here. It says all your spells cost 5 colorless less to cast. So it's going to make it very interesting on how you draft your deck, for example. Because all the cards that are really expensive are now about to be really cheap. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Strixhaven. I'm going to go through, I'm going to look at what the best cards are and the best colors to abuse this mechanic. Because there's a lot of good cards in Strixhaven that cost like 4 mana, but they're all colored mana, so this doesn't help. Now, they're still good cards, but at the same time, there's cards in Strixhaven that you take 5 colorless mana off of them for 2 or 3 mana, they're just broken beyond belief. Like, yeah. For example, that white bird that lets you get instants and stuff out of your graveyard, they cost 8 more colorless to cast. Yeah, now they cost 3 with this. So that's a thing. But is that the only good thing that's in white that can do that? Like, is white even worth drafting? So this really changes the whole dynamic. As you can see here, I've got about 38,000 gold left out of my 70 I started with. So I'm going to take at least 5 runs at it. Hopefully it only takes 4 runs at most so I can stay at 30,000. I got plenty of gems, as you can see, and I'm racking this up pretty well too. I racked up a whole bunch of commons, uncommons out to get some stuff, just because I'm a completionist kind of nerd. But hey, you'll have that sometimes. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up, but don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, put some comments down below, guys. I'd really appreciate it, even if it's just to say hi or thank you. It helps feed that YouTube algorithms, get some views for the channel. Tell your friends, tell your family, heck, post it in your Facebook, whatever it takes, guys. We're almost up to 200 subscribers. I appreciate everything you guys do for me and watching the videos. And as always, remember, until next time, be kind. Let's make this a better Magic community and a friendlier Magic community so people will actually play in it. So, this is your captain speaking. And until I see you again, I hope to see you across from the game table.